What you need to do is to start training your ear. Okay? I've gone over some very basic definitions of intervals, but to make them practical, what you need to do is play with them. All right? If you play the piano, use the piano. If you use the guitar, use the guitar. If you play bass guitar is fine. The interval is the same no matter what instrument you use. So I'm suggesting that you start wherever you want to, but get familiar with the sound of 1 to 4. That's a distinct sound. And learn what that sounds like. Drive yourself crazy with it. 1, 4. Drive everybody around you crazy with it. But learn what it sounds like to go from 1 to 4. 1, 4. And if you can learn the sound of that interval, then you won't have any problem switching that knowledge to chords. 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. All right, you see where I'm going with this? And it doesn't matter what level you have attained. If you've never done this before, you'll have to work at it a little bit harder than those who have gotten exposed to this. But learn what it sounds like to go from 1 to 4. And then spend some time from 1 to 5. Very common is 1 to 5. And then even more common, 5 likes to go to 1. So learn what it sounds like to go from 1 to 5. And 5 to 1, 1 to 5, 5 to 1. And then you'll be able to hear the chord. 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. And again, I'm not going to say this for all these intervals, but drive yourself crazy. Learn what 1 to 5 sounds like, and 5 to 1. One of the most common progressions is 5 to 1. And then once you've got a handle on 4 and 5, then go for 2. 1, 2. Learn what it sounds like to go from 1 to 2. And a very, very common progression is 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. So then you can start combining them. 2, 5, 1, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. Am I making my point? I think I'm probably driving you crazy. Instead of you driving everybody else crazy, I'm driving you crazy now. And then once you've gotten a handle on 2, then work with 1 to 3. 1, 3, 2, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5. I think you see what I'm driving at. Just go for it. And then there's 6. 6 can go up or down. Just get used to the sound from 1, 6. Very common. Or it can go up. 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1. And just play around with the notes. And when you figure out with your mind where the notes are going as individual notes, as intervals, then that will translate very easily to chords going the same path. Now, chords, most of the time, especially when you're just starting this, listen for the bass note. The bass guitar or the left hand on the piano is usually, and I'm being very careful when I say this because it's not all the time by any stretch. And we're not going to get into the rest of it right now. We'll do that next time. But listen to the bass note. If it goes down, you got a pretty good idea that's a 6 chord. Not always going to be that way. It can be other things, and we'll talk about that next time. But listen to that bass. 3, 2, 5, 1. get a handle on that. I'm suggesting that for the next day, week, month, whatever it takes, just get yourself trained to hear these intervals, because it will be so important to you. It will translate into hearing chords. So take some time and mess with some intervals for a while. Do something noteworthy. We'll talk again next time.